Hello and welcome to another Division video. Yes, I got a couple requests to show you my build, my Nomad build I was using for my Legendary solo runs on the two new Legendary missions we got. And this I will show for you, I'll do for you of course. If I got the request and I have the time to do it, I will do it for you guys. I hope you feel comfortable here in my living room. I just went here to show you my build. No, don't waste any time. But I do really appreciate if this video helps you and you enjoyed the content, then give this video a like, leave a thumbs up, leave a comment down below and sub if you haven't done it already. It's really appreciated. But for the moment, let's get right into the build. As you see, based on 6-piece classified Nomad. And for me personally, this is kind of the potato aim striker build. Yes, why potato aim striker build? Because you don't have to get the stacks to have the healing effect. Of course, the advantage of striker, this is definitely the case. You do have more damage you can deal after you get the stacks, and because you do have more enemy armor damage. But trust me, this build hits pretty hard as well in PvE against elites. As you see already on my guns, this is the main focus on my build. Destructive and ferocious, so damage to elites and enemy armor damage is all this build stands for. If you have a look on my main stats, firearms 6500, trust me, this is enough. Stamina 53, 50, this is quite a lot for survivability, so I think it's really awesome to have such high stam on this build. And electronics 3940. You ask probably why electronics, because it's not meta right now. Two reasons. First of all, of course, to unlock two talents, competent and ferocious on my guns, because they have the requirement for that high electronics. And the second reason, to have a little bit better skill power and better skills. So let's go right into the build here, or the gear pieces. Chest piece, as you see, firearms, skill haste, health and ammo capacity, and the mods I'm using are always the same. Damage to elites and electronics on this one here. Yes, they are not maxed out, so you could still optimize this gear. 4% would be max, but I was not that lucky. They're really rare to get. I was not that lucky to get them all over the board. So, but you could still improve it. Then the mask is rolled into firearms as well. Enemy armor damage, damage to elites, and 4% here I got one. Damage to elites mod. Then the knees is rolled into stamina, health, damage to elites, bleed, disrupt. For me personally, this is god roll, especially the resistance, because if you play the new legendaries or resistance, you are allowed on the status effect, and especially bleed and disrupt is especially for the hunters at the end of the legendaries. Therefore, you could run as well burn or shock resistance. This would work really nice as well. The mods are the same, a little bit a special one probably on this build here. I do have turret health mod. I talk a little bit about them later when we come to the skills. The backpack is rolled into stam, skill power and ammo capacity. You could roll major into health as well. And yeah, as I said, I just prefer to have a little bit stronger skills, because sometimes I run this setup with a booster shot and a pulsar booster and flashbang. So this is the reason why. The mods exactly the same. The gloves I run on this build is firearms, enemy armor damage, assault rifle and skill haste. Skill haste for me personally, especially if you run solo, still one of the best stats you can have on a build. For me personally, especially solo, as I said. And yeah, I change them sometimes if I fight the hunters. If you saw my video about how you can, or which weapon is the best to kill the hunter, then you saw for me personally definitely the big alley. That's why I rolled this one here on crit LNG damage, crit chance and crit damage. No enemy armor damage, because the hunter doesn't have armor in the new legendary missions. That's the reason why. So I sometimes change to this one here, but actually I'm so stupid I forgot to change the gloves as I showed you the video, as I did the video. So I guess I could kill him much faster if I would have the right gloves on. The holster, skill haste and high stats all on board, the same mod as before. Let's continue with the gun. So the gun talents I'm using are destructive, ferocious, as you saw before already. And the third one is determined. Yes, determined is a really awesome talent, especially if you play solo. And yeah, the reason for this build is survivability. And with this talent here, you get your super back so fast. That's really insane. Just kill a couple NPCs and you super is back. That's really, really awesome. So I can really recommend this. If I would run this setup with Striker, and yes, on Xbox I don't have 6-piece classified Striker right now, I was not that lucky, then I would change this talent to Predatory to have a little bit more heal, me personally. But this one here works pretty well for this setup. So the secondary depends a little bit what I'm doing. If I run solo the Legendaries or use it in this setup, then I have this weapon here, the custom M44 with Ferocious, Destructive and Disciplined. Disciplined is not too bad, but not too good in my opinion. I would rather prefer to have Brutal, Prepared, Competent, something like this would make more sense in my opinion. But this is what I got so far on this character, so that's why I don't complain. It's pretty a nice gun. And me personally, I prefer to have the M44. I don't know why, I just like them more than the M700 Carbon to play with. And sometimes I change. If I start Resistance, I usually start with this one here, just to not to waste my AR bullets and my LMG bullets, so that I don't have to restock that fast. And later in the game I change to my beloved Big L, and then I usually use the AR and Big Alley. And the Big Alley has Ferocious, Competent, and the Big L talent Cover Shooter. So Competent, the reason why, as I said, I use this gun mainly for killing the hunters at the end of the legendary missions. Of course it works at everybody else, again any other elite as well, but the hunter doesn't have armor on these missions, so that's why Competent makes much more sense. And you use flashbang first, so then Competent is active at this time. So this is a really nice combination. That much for the guns. I don't talk too much about the mods. They're pretty awkward, I guess. Yeah, all the same. My aim is not the best, so I use stability, and otherwise I focus on headshot and crit damage as everybody else for both of them. Let's have a quick look on the character sheet if you're interested in this. So the weapon, this is not what I'm focusing on. There where the build going to shine is this one here. 54 damage to leads. You can increase this to 58 if you have all God roll mods, and 54 enemy armor damage. This is maxed out, so this is really nice, and you see this works pretty well. And of course survivability, health on kill, this is really awesome too as well. You get a big chunk of health back with every kill you do. Then skill power, skill haste, just that you see it, and toughness, maxed health, and it's not maxed out as you see. I still have room for improvement, but not that much on this one here. I don't play, yeah, I've just played about for 3 weeks on Xbox, so this is what I got so far. Let's continue with the abilities, the skills. Here you are pretty free to choose what you like. Me personally, I like to have as much crowd control and status effects as possible on the build, so that's why usually on the legendaries I run flashbang. This is one of the best things, guys, really, I can just recommend it. Flashbang is one of the best things you can have in PvE for more DPS focused build. I run this here as well as my sentry build with OK firearms and the booster shot yesterday in a group of 4, random group of 4, and it worked really awesome. So this is, I can just recommend it. Sometimes it's a little bit the problem if you have 2 skills that force a status effect that one doesn't work anymore. As you saw on my hunter video, that was the reason why he burned first. Then I made him and it didn't work, unfortunately. And the flame turret, yeah, it's really awesome for crowd control. And that's the reason why I use turret health mods, because as you know, the turret gets destroyed so really fast from the NPCs. That's just insane, even if you run a Firecrest build. And that the duration is a little bit longer, I decided to go with turret health mod. But of course you can choose other things as well. So sticky explosion radius would work as well, would be as well. But this would be the 2 I would recommend. Especially, yeah, when you run with booster and sticky, then of course I would change to first aid self-heal mods. And I'm doing this as well sometimes. So sometimes I change to Seekers as well, but Seekers doesn't work too much because the damage is just too low on this build. What I change sometimes, especially if I continue in resistance to further waves after wave 15, then I change to the immunizer because you are on the status effect a lot. The shotgunner throw shock nades to you, the drones that can shock you, the special ammo they use and everything like this. So this works really nice there as well. The super, you're really free to use what you like with this build. Sometimes I change to survival link just to save my nomad proc, because then I can just use this in advance and spare my Nomad for later, and with Determined I anyway get this back really fast. 527 seconds cooldown, but 7.5% less with every kill I do. So just get about 15 kills and you have your super back. This is fast your Nomad. In a group setup, I actually are the guy that uses Tech Link because I got it back really fast and I have survivability for myself, so I seldomly need a recovery from others and I can still revive them if I have to manually. This is the skills I'm using on this build. Let's continue to the last part, talents. Talents I'm using on this build is this setup here, so always crit save and strike back. They're just too good not to use in my opinion. And then precision for legendary runs to increase the damage more, and on the move to have more survivability. If I run this in resistance, as you will see in the gameplay video, yes, I will upload a gameplay video in a separate one where you see some waves up to wave 18 on carrier. I used this build on carrier and on Pier 3 in solo runs. On Pier 3, actually, unfortunately, I didn't record this run. I get up to wave 20, and on carrier I went up to wave 18, and why I struggled there you will see in the gameplay video. Yes, on resistance, because I then activated the pulse fortification, I changed to one is none, just to have the ability to have more bullets in my weapon. So if you flashbang the hunter, especially wave 15, then you just can land more shots with this talent, and you don't have to restock often. That's why I changed this one here. So these are the talents I'm using on this build. That's it about the build. Then I do really appreciate that you take the time to watch this video. I do really appreciate if you give this video a like, leave a thumbs up. I hope it was helpful. Subscribe if you haven't done it already, and everything together. And I wish you a really nice weekend. Happy farming, happy hunting. Take care and see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Additional hostiles incoming.